What the heck? Hey guys, today we're going to take a look at how to set up the WRAITH CO2 adapter and storm high pressure reg for use with the bolt here. Before we get started, the tools we're going to want are a 7/16 wrench, a 1/2 inch wrench, and a 9/16 wrench. It also will be helpful to have, though it's not strictly necessary, a 3/8 Allen wrench. First, let's look at the regulator. This is the storm high pressure regulator, the way it comes in the box. And this is the fitting that comes with your bolt. It has a mini push to connect fitting and then your QD fitting on this side. So first thing we want to do is we want to break this apart. This is going to take your 7/16 wrench on the push to connect and your 9/16 wrench on the QD fitting, and we'll just break it apart. So we can set the QD fitting aside, we don't need that, and we have our push to connect. Next step is going to be to take the storm regulator, the high pressure regulator, and remove the QD fitting from this side. In order to do that, easiest thing to do is going to be to hit it with a heat gun and then use your 1/2 inch wrench to loosen it. There is a thread sealant on here that comes off a lot easier if you heat it up. So we're going to go ahead and hit it with a heat gun and then remove the fitting. So we went ahead and hit it with the heat gun at a pretty high heat for about 30 seconds to a minute, and then we put the regulator in the soft jaws on the vise, which we'll put up a picture of here, and used our 1/2 inch wrench and removed the fitting. Now we're going to take the miniature push to connect fitting that we took off of our other QD fitting, and we're going to put it in the port we just opened up on the regulator. Get our 7/16 wrench, snug that down. Alright, so now our regulator is all set. Let's take a look at the WRAITH CO2 adapter. So, for the WRAITH CO2 adapter, in order to get the proper puncturing process, we need to set the length. Just like on the CO2 stock, the length is set by rotating these two parts here. The threads there adjust the puncture length. This is tightened all the way down, as you can see. But we're going to back it off a little bit. And then we're going to put our cartridge in. Well, first let's go ahead and just attach this to our regulator. So we're going to attach it to our regulator, and we're going to plug in the air line here. So we have the air line for our WRAITH plugged in, so we don't just blow all the pressure through the system. And we've backed out our engagement, our puncture pin engagement a little bit here. And what we're looking for is we want to be able to do this and move the cap all the way to the closed position without putting pressure on the puncture pin. And then we're just going to tighten it down. We're going to tighten it down until it punctures, like so. So at this point the system is punctured, it's pressurized. All we need to do at this point is we need to set our lock ring in order to prevent that adjustment from moving. To do that, we're going to start by just kind of snugging down the lock ring. Don't over tighten it right now because we're still going to move it a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and fire all the air, or all the CO2 out of the cartridge. We'll just do this. Alright. Okay, so we emptied the cartridge. Now we're going to back up this length adjustment just a little bit. You remember, if you've watched the stock video, we back it up one flat here. We basically want to do the same thing. We're looking for about 1/6 of a turn backed off. So we're just going to do right about like that. And now we're going to tighten down our lock ring again. At this point, we're going to unscrew the CO2 adapter from the regulator, being careful that we're turning on this part, not this part, because if we turn over here, we're going to change our adjustment again. Still had a little bit of pressure in there. This is where the 3/8 Allen key will come in handy, as it will help us tighten that down a little more. So again, I'm going to hold on the lock ring, and I'm going to just tighten that down a little bit there. So now I can put the whole thing back together. I can put my adapter back on the regulator. I can get a new cartridge, and I can see whether I have it set right. And you see we pressurized, and we are good to go. Now, a good thing to keep in mind is while the lock ring does hold you pretty well in place, it's going to be a good practice whenever you're doing this, whenever you're snapping this down, to try to hold on to the body here. The flats give you some grip there to hold on to, as opposed to holding down here, because you might end up adjusting this without intending to. The lock ring does a pretty good job of holding it in place, but it's not quite as secure as like in the stock where you have the set screw where it really just can't move at all. So again, good practice is going to be to hold up here and snap that cap down. I don't remember whether I did that when I did this on video here right now, but definitely that's how you want to go about it. And at this point, you're all set up. The whole thing will just slide inside the stock, and you are off to the races. You can adjust your pressure, obviously, here, like normal, and that will let you set your pressure on your regulator to wherever you need. Again, the storm high pressure will go up to 200 psi. The system's rated for 180, but the storm high pressure will go up to around 200, and you can adjust it to set for the velocity that you need. One other thing I want to mention real fast here is that 3/8 wrench can come in handy. And one other way, once you have this together, you usually don't need to take it apart that often. If you need to remove the CO2 adapter from the regulator, this is a smooth surface here, and it can be a little difficult to get a good handle on. Back it off the regulator. If you get it on there tighter than you're able to get off by hand, you can disassemble the two halves, and you can access that same hex port from the back side, and then that'll let you twist it to get a little more torque on there to break it loose. Hope that was helpful, guys. If you have any questions about this, get in touch with us, and we will do our best to answer them. Thanks for watching.